Great job, Jonathan. Let's have another hand for him. So, you heard from 5 of his close friends and his son. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit about him. Some common themes that I'm sure you've heard is driving abilities are stellar. Sleeping abilities are outstanding. Golfing abilities are top-notch. So, John,
Cursing about 20 minutes.
we got all the time we need. So, John, as we raise our glasses to you, let's remember that while you may be the aggressive driver of the group, the bossy golfer, the nap enthusiast, and the social butterfly with a heart of gold, we wouldn't change a thing about it. Let's raise our glasses.
You're here.
Here's to many more years of laughter, love, and the occasional fart on the putting green. Happy birthday, John. May your life be filled with as much joy as the number of times you've fallen asleep in public. So now, guys at the head table, brace yourself because it's payback time. Now is the man of the hour. We're going to hear from John. Let's have a hand for the birthday boy.
Falling back here. All emotional after my son's diatribe there. Thanks a lot. But everything these guys said up here is true, and I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to them in a minute because it's funny how they all pick stories that I picked. But you know, I found out about this. I wasn't supposed to be here in the state. Actually, last week, Charlie and I were supposed to go to Coachella. So we have to put it off because Jen heard me trying to buy tickets and everything, and she said, "Oh, we're going away for your birthday next year." And I said, "Well, me and Charlie are supposed to go away." She said, "No, we're going away." So then anyway, I saw her phone blowing up one day, and there was a text from somebody about John's party, and I approached her on that, and I was mad because she did this to me when I was 50. Then Jen always get home from work before me, and I think it was late in February. There was a package on the porch. I got home first, and I thought it was my patches for my back, so I opened it up. My name was on it, of course, and it was the invitations. And so then I was really pissed because I wasn't ready to be roasted. But anyway, these guys. I'll tell you, they provide a lot of
So you
stories.
had 2 months to get ready.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't have to get ready because it's very easy to roast these guys. I'll start with Mr. Monday. Joe's story about Boston is entirely true. It was the day before Easter. He left a note on his wife's pillow. And Joe's got two of his passions in life are automobiles, and he's a clothes horse. I mean, look at him. Joe, stand up. I mean, he is a meticulous dresser. In fact, Lori, Joe, and I go out a lot. And yeah, Lori has to tell him we're going out at 5:30 if it's 6 o'clock because he's ironing everything. And so we go to Boston to look at a Toyota pickup truck. And I pick him up at 4 in the morning. I have on camel pants, boots, and a torn New Jersey Nets hoodie. And Joe comes out, penny loafers, got everything but the tie and the jacket. Slacks, pressed with a crease, nice shirt. So we go up to this town. It's called Roslindale. It's actually, it's a part of Boston. And we got there a little early, like he said. And so we had to kill some time because the girl couldn't meet us till noon. So we're walking around town. I did buy a vase in the shop. It was still, Jen has it out to this day. And Joe keeps going, everybody's looking at us funny. You know, everybody's looking at us funny. So then we go into this restaurant for something to eat. And he's going, everybody's looking at us funny. I said, what's the matter, Joe? You're paranoid. He goes, no, there's something off. So we go make the deal with the girl, and she tells me the reason she's selling the truck is because her and her partner are moving to Chicago, and she really loved it there. And that part of Boston was very, I always say this wrong, Jen has to correct me, but it's LGBTQ friendly. And a very friendly town that she loves. And Joe goes, I told you. They thought we were a couple. I said, yeah. And I said, the way we're dressed, at least they think I'm the guy. That's Joe, but he never misses a road trip with me. Jimmy, my buddy, and it's funny, he said the same thing I said. He's the most chill person I know. And we met at bowling about 38 years ago. And, you know, he's always like the most chill person. And for as much as he does with me, you have to be chill. But we were down in Myrtle Beach on a golf trip. And we had already played 18 holes, so we're playing 9 more. And our 2 friends from Dunmore were playing with us. And it was about maybe the 2nd or 3rd hole, and I'm getting something out of my golf bag over here on the cart. Jimmy had to go to the bathroom, and the 2 guys had the tee because they had won the last hole. And Jimmy went over to the other side of the tee, and there was a bunch of arborvitaes and stuff, and there was a little opening in the trees. And I happened to look over it, and the next thing I know, I see Jimmy's hands clutching at the bank. And I yelled, alligator. I thought, because there was a canal there, I thought an alligator had got him. So the other 2 guys, we run over, we grab him, right? And we pull him up the bank, and he had white pants on, a white shirt, and he was covered in black, like it was like mud or whatever. But the problem was, that opening was formed probably by about 1,000 golfers that went there to urinate too. So you can imagine he had all black soot from head to toe. Now, like I said, Jimmy is the most chill guy. I said, well, let's just, let's go. We gotta go. And he said, no, we gotta finish the match. So we playing golf. All right. Now, from that point on, I knew why the 2 guys ahead of us that were playing, they would hit the ball and they wouldn't come nowhere near us. I mean, he stunk. He stunk like urine. It was terrible. But we forged on, and every hole, those guys were ahead of us. Came down to the last hole, we were tied, and they were down on the green, and they were able to witness this shot. It was dark. It was almost nighttime. He hits a wedge into the hole for an eagle, and we won the match. So, he's black from neck down, and we go in the parking lot, and he takes all his clothes off. We won't let him in the car. John Kohansky was actually driving the car, and you're talking early 90s, so there weren't many tinted windows or anything. So Jim throws the clothes in the back of the car. It's in a bag, and the car stinks. And we were going to go in and celebrate, but obviously he's sitting in his underwear in the back seat. So the car smells so bad, Coleman's trying to drive back to the hotel, get us back as soon as possible, get these clothes in the washer. And we get pulled over by the cops. Right? So the cop comes up to the window, Coleman rolls down his window, he takes one look at Jimmy, sitting in his underwear with a towel over his shoulders, and then he starts smelling like this odor. And he looks at him and he says, well, I know it's not beer. I'm just going to let you guys go. And that was it. We went back to the hotel, and I think Jimmy, he tried to wash the clothes like 3 or 4 times, and we had to throw him out, I think. Yeah. Then Kevin and I, everybody thinks we know each other from work, and we do. We've worked together for, it's almost 40 years, but I knew Kevin before that from basketball, mutual friends, Kenny McNaughton when he moved here from Johnstown. But Kevin is an elite salesman. No matter where he's worked, he could sell ice to the Eskimos. I know it's a cliche, but he could sell it. Oh, and by the way, Dino laughed. This is all your fucking fault. she went she planned it after I was a roaster of his at his roast last March. But anyway, it's your fault. So Kevin could sell, I haven't thought you could sell to anybody. So we had this national account customer that he had met once briefly. And if you know how it is, like, I hate sales. People don't want to see you. They don't like salesmen. They won't let them in. So after the first time he met her briefly when she moved into the area, he tried to make repeated appointments, and he couldn't get in to see her. So, and I think she was with Walmart, right? Yeah. And he knows what I'm going to say. So anyway, he has got a great sales knack. Like, he'll walk into somebody's office and he'll pick out, like, if they have a Yankees emblem on the wall or something, and he has a good knack at talking to them, and they trust him and everything. So he gets in to see her, and there's really no tells for him to talk about. But he noticed she put on a few pounds since the last time he had saw her. So Kev says to her, "So I think it was Pam. Pam, when's the baby due?" Well, as you can all probably tell, there was no bun in the oven, and we didn't get the business. And that's a true story. True story. Try not to lie. Steve, the MC, again, he said, took the words out of my mouth. We met on the golf team and been friends ever since. And I'll tell you what, that's probably 42 years. Almost as many jobs as he's had in that time. But seriously, I forgot what I was going to say. So anyway, but he is a hard worker. He's a very, very, very hard worker, and he's thrifty. He's thrifty. He earns his buck, and he's very thrifty with it. So it was the early 90s. And there was a guy named, Steve had a Ford Maverick, 73 Ford Maverick, and we were going away, and he decided to do, he's like Matt Roloff, plans a project at the last minute, starts doing some body work on his car, and there was a guy at the time, Fish will tell you, Earl Scheib, "I'll paint any car for $99. Well, that was too much for Steve. So he got one Sunday paper, a roll of masking tape, 12 cans of paint at B&B Auto, and he hired me and Hacker Coyer to help him. And 8 hours later, he had the best $27.42 paint job at Barker Body. And then we went to the shore the next day. That's a true story. True story. My son, I didn't really prepare for him too much.
Is it an accident?
But, yeah, right? Yeah, right. But I will say, I took Jonathan down to Florida. I won tickets at the traffic club meeting, and we flew down to Florida, and I took him to Disney. And we went to a park, and I rented a car, a white Grand Am. Again, he was about 5, so that would put us about the year 2000. And we went into the park, we had the greatest time, but I didn't realize, if you've ever been to one of those parks, you don't realize where you park your car. So I come out, and I said, I'll be in the white Grand Am. Yeah, well, you know what they rent? There's about 10,000 white Grand Ams in the parking lot that say Enterprise on the back. So I'm trying not to make them nervous, but I don't know where the hell we're parked, and I don't know how we're going to get home until it's the last car in the lot. And finally, he sensed it, and he said, "What's the matter?" I said, "I'm just trying to find the car. I'm getting the remote, trying to make these cars go off." And he looks at me, and he goes, "Pluto." I said, "What?" He said, "We parked where Pluto was, the sign on the thing." So I thought I had a savant, really. He's amazed me in certain ways over the years. And that car I bought him at Damiano's, it had two banged up doors. When we got home, Joe and I put wheel bearings on it. It was humming like anything. And it had a broken gas gauge. So now the kid's he's in all the gifted classes at Valley View. He's a math wizard, he's in physics, and I tell him, I said, well listen, you got a full tank of gas, all right? So you figure you get about 20 miles to the gallon. So if it has, it's a 15-gallon tank, you got about 300 miles, whatever. And I said, so when you get about 150, just count on that odometer. When it goes up 150 miles, get some more gas. Well, he just started driving. It was like his 16th or 17th birthday. And I felt like I worked for AAA. Because I had to follow him around 40 times bringing gallons of gas. I had to keep a red gas can in my car. Because I had to follow him around and get him out of trouble. But it was worth it. It was worth it. But all I can say is I love these guys and they're a lot of fun to be around. I got a few people in the audience that I really have to say something about. First one's my cousin Fish. These guys I consider mentors, and I'll get emotional, but they played a role in my life. In fact, Fish gave me my first non-paying job. Yeah, I spent a lot of time down at this body shop. It was a couple of years. I don't even remember it, but a lot of Lowenbrow and Calabria calzones. But all kidding aside, the most generous person you'll ever meet. Honest to God. The next one is my cousin Dan. Another one I consider a mentor. One day we were on the side of Jimmy's and I had a motorcycle that I bought off of Dwayne Rozilchak, and Danny, I don't know, he wanted to go for a ride on my motorcycle. He said, you could take my car and I'll take your bike for a ride. So, I always had a habit, I think I might have learned it from Fish, when you get off the motorcycle you turn the gas off. You close the valve. So I forgot I had done it, and Dan takes off. Well, I get into Dan's car. I'm like, wow, I get to drive a car, because the only time I'd drive in a car before that was my sister's Matador. She'd be asleep, and I would get in the car like I was 14, and I'd drive around the neighborhood, and General John would tell on me. But so anyway, Danny remembers this. He takes off on the motorcycle, and there's no cell phones or nothing. So I get in Danny's car, Volvo 240. And at least I wasn't like an Acapelli and put diesel in it. So I get in the car and it's got a stick shift. I drove a motorcycle, but I never drove a stick shift. Well, Danny's not coming back. I said, I'll take it for a ride. And I decided to go down through Greenridge. And if